Yesterday, I watched as much as MSNBC telecast Governor Gavin Newsom, California governor, his press briefing. And, I watched that and I realized a lot of it is political because Newsom is going to run for president in 2028. But holy shit, that certainly made me feel a lot better to hear a Democrat finally, figuratively speaking, punch the toilet rat's lights out. Newsom was great. And he will run for the Democratic nomination for president in 2028 or 2027. And if he does get the nomination, I think he will be president. I really do. So considering or not considering the fact that a lot of what Newsom says right now is with an eye towards his presidential run, what he said was perfect. Absolutely perfect. He told Trump to fuck off and that the people of California were going to make Trump fuck off. There's 36 million people and a tenth of the population of the country lives there. And Newsom's plan for redistricting, unlike this devil little bastard, the sitting governor of Florida, of Texas, and his scummy little minions around him, unlike that, Newsom is going to put the redistricting plan to the voters of California. Let them decide. I think that's called democracy, isn't it? Yeah, it's called let the people decide whether or not they want the plan that will be put together in order to counter what these filthy fucking Christian Republicans are doing in Texas. And, of course, there will be more of these blood red states who will soon follow suit because this is what Christian crazy people do. They wait until somebody takes the lead, somebody that they think is a good Christian like them, and then they follow, just jump right in line. This is what they're taught to do from childhood. Don't disagree. Don't digress. Don't look the other way. Do exactly what the leader tells you to do because God is behind it all. Oh, these sick bastards. And one thing I noticed about this morning, about Newsom's press briefing yesterday, first of all, during the actual press briefing outside, the toilet rat, this fucking bum Trump, had sent ICE agents. His monster head of the Trump Gestapo, Tom Homan, this beast, had sent ICE agents and Homeland Security people to parade up and down on the sidewalk in front of the building where the meeting or the press briefing was being held. That's called Soviet or Putin-style intimidation. And Newsom mentioned that and just, again, told him to fuck off. Do what you want to do. If you want to walk up and down the sidewalk, walk up and down the sidewalk. You're not going to intimidate Gavin Newsom. So what I noticed, though, this morning, and this, I can't tell you how angry this made me and disappointed. I went to New York Times and Washington Post, their feeds online, their news feeds from overnight. Not a single fucking word in the two newspapers of record about what Gavin Newsom said. No coverage. Oh, there were a couple of videos put up if you look far enough, but absolutely no news coverage from the New York Times or the Washington Post. And if you want to know the depth of the shit that we're all buried in now, there's a good indicator right there. Jesus Christ. So anyway, yesterday what Newsom did, it was kind of the formal kickoff for his push to redraw California's congressional maps in response to what these Christian filth and their Lord and Savior, Donald Christ, are doing in Texas. And this sets up California and Newsom's next stage of his fight against both the Trump administration and these gerrymandering slugs, these mindless little fucking Nazi robots that exist in Texas and every red state and do exist in California. There's going to be resistance to this in California. So when it became apparent to Newsom while he was speaking that these immigration Nazis were making arrests outside the downtown L.A. venue where this occurred, Newsom said, quote, "You think it's coincidental? Wake up, America. This is a serious moment," end quote. And that's the part that, I mean, the moment in this country right now, insofar as the struggle against Trump and his fascist filth, the moment could not be more pregnant with the possibility of disaster. So where's the Times and the Post? Why is what Gavin Newsom said yesterday not on every television screen, every newspaper, if the Fourth Estate, so-called, the only profession, journalism, protected by the U.S. Constitution, where the fuck are they? Where are they? Now, I realize the Washington Post is run by a Trump apologist, somebody who refused to even endorse Kamala Harris for president last year because Trump warned the big shot who runs the Washington Post and Amazon. They told him, shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. And that's exactly what happened. So anyway, yesterday, Newsom was joined by labor leaders and members of Congress. They gathered there, and the governor urged, or he argued, that Democrats have got to override California's independent redistricting commission in order to block the toilet rat's attempt to push through this Christian devil-friendly redrawing of U.S. House maps in Texas and other conservative-led states. And the reason for it, as Newsom pointed out, he said, quote, he, referring to the filthy pig Trump, he doesn't play by a different set of rules. He doesn't believe in the rules. We've got to recognize the cards that have been dealt, and we have got to meet fire with fire, end quote. Well, thank the fucking stars that somebody in a position of political power has come out and said that. I mean, seriously, it's one thing to give lengthy speeches in the Senate. It's something else to stand there and bemoan the fact that the toilet rat is destroying democracy. It's something else to hold big rallies. It's something else to sing peace and love songs. But God damn it, at some point, there must be active, necessary, powerful, physical resistance to this shit. And I hope Newsom is finally going to inspire Americans to take that stance and say, enough of this goddamn Trump. Enough of him. Now, Puffy Lips, one of Trump's bitches, this Kristi Noem freak, said during an interview with the Fox sewer yesterday that those ICE and Homeland Security agents were in the area where Newsom was giving his press briefing because, well, according to Puffy Lips bitch, they had information that migrants accused of crimes were in the area. But she didn't know the specifics. God damn these people. And then another one of Trump's bitches, this little freak named Tricia McLaughlin, who is a spokes liar for the Department of Homeland Security, she said this, quote, our law enforcement operations are about enforcing the law, not about Gavin Newsom. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection patrols all areas of Los Angeles every day with over 40 teams on the ground to make L.A. safe. End quote. The McLaughlin bitch. Trump has a whole stable of these little shits, doesn't he? I mean, look at them all. Tulsi Gabbard and Pam Bondi and Puffy Lips and Levitt, you know, this little shit who's the press secretary, Caroline, and Tricia McLaughlin. I mean, Trump has put together this little sorority of lying little Christian cross-wearing fucking morons who will do exactly what Trump tells them to do because they're good little girls. They're good Christian girls. And when Donald Christ tells us to do things, why, of course we are going to do those things. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now, as you know, in Texas, the sitting governor, this fucking freak Greg Abbott, says he's going to call another special session for Republicans to provide the toilet rat with his 5 extra seats in the congressional seats in Texas as soon as the Democrats return. And because of that, Governor Newsom and legislative leaders in the state of California are going to need to put any new maps for a statewide referendum. They got to get it together and get it on the ballot because there's an election coming up in November. And in California, the legislature there goes back into session this coming Monday, and they have to be there to consider the measure that Gavin's talking about that has to pass both chambers with 2/3 of the vote in order to make the November ballot in California. So Newsom has a tough row to hoe, as Grandma used to say. But I think the people of California, I'm hoping the people of California are so fucking fed up with this little toy Nazi Christian bastard, incompetent Donald Trump, that they're going to do exactly what is necessary to stop this beast. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. You know, the Progressive Voices Network brings you commercial-free commentary from today's leading progressive radio hosts and pundits, like me, Mike Malloy, 24 hours a day. I'm not your typical old guy from the 80s or the 90s talk radio host, and Progressive Voices is not your typical talk radio network. It's a listener-supported nonprofit with no corporate control whatsoever over our broadcast. So hosts like me, Mike Malloy, are free to rant and scream and carry on about whatever we like. We're often controversial, but we're never boring. Weeknights, 9 p.m. in the East, 6 p.m. in the West on the Progressive Voices Network. Always progressive, always on. I'm Mike Malloy. Keep it lit.